This is my Bark River Kalahari. Kalahari knife is a little bit of a butcher knife style. It had that hump there of the old butcher knife that people used to carry years ago. Now this one's a Kalahari Hunter. It's the first production run. A2 tool steel, about 59 hardness. It says 58 to 60. 170 on the spine. It's got a 4.5-inch blade, 9.25 overall length. This one has desert ironwood handle. Now the handle on the Kalahari is thinner at the front, thicker at the back, thinner from this angle and thicker back here. Everything to the back is a lot thicker than what's on the front. So when you hold the knife, if you hold it like that, it's just putting that blade right out in front. I like to hold this side holding either like that if I'm cutting something like that, or just a pinch holding right here. It's real good for that because it's thin on the front and it's made for skinning and cutting up meat, and it really excels at that. So the fit and finish on this knife, like I said before, it has a desert ironwood handle and it's really well done. This handle is really smooth all over, really well done, even on both sides. No problem with the handle whatsoever. This has a swedge up here on that hump part. Both sides of that swedge are really even. The grind heights are even on both sides. The edge is in the middle. Right back here, the plunge grind's even. And this knife has a little bit of a sharpening notch right there, just a rounded sharpening notch. So really good fit and finish. It's one of my Bark Rivers that has really good fit and finish. Practically perfect. You'd have to be really nitpicky to find anything wrong with the fit and finish on this knife. Sheath on it is what's called a gamekeeper style sheath. It's really thick leather on this sheath, and like I said, I got it maybe 8 years ago, and so I don't know if they've thinned the sheaths down or if they still even have the gamekeeper style sheath. It's just a pouch sheath. Retention's not the best on that style sheath, especially with a knife that's a lot thinner in every way on the front, because there's just nothing to hold it down in there. It's holding pretty good in this one, and I hadn't water formed it or anything, but if that got hit with brush or anything, it could pull out pretty easy. But it's really good if you're standing around skinning something that's hung up, or you're cutting meat up on a table. It can be in and out of that sheath really easy. So it's good for that, for drawing the knife and putting it in with no obstruction, but not as good a retention. Way the belt loop is back here, if you want it just complete vertical carry, you go right through there and it'll just hang straight up on your belt. If you put it all the way through this way, it'll be a little bit angled. So for instance, you could put this on your left side and do cross drawing with your right hand, and that would be a good angle on there for you to draw that knife out. It's not completely horizontal carry, but just a little bit angled for a little bit better access if you were carrying it that way and drawing it that way. So as I said, this is one of my knives that I'm pleased with, that I got from Bark River, and one of the first ones I got. I really like desert ironwood on my handles. I've got several with that, and that's one of my favorite handle materials. And this is a really well made knife.